Hello, hello. Good morning to all. Sorry about the late start, but let us go ahead and get started. Today, we are moving on to episode 4. So, with that, I just want to share with you a few things and then we'll get right into it, okay? First of all, thank you for showing up and being here with me today. I greatly appreciate it. I am looking forward to being with you all today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see what we'll be focusing on today. I'm Dr. D here with Core3, and we focus here on all things mental health. I will be kicking off a video on our second channel to introduce folks who probably are not aware of it, World Music Therapy Week that will be happening next week. So I'm looking forward to bringing you some amazing information over there, specifically about music therapy. So check that channel out as well. Today we are on episode 4, and I do encourage you to go back and look at our past few episodes. We are kicking off this this season, and I think we'll carry this out for a while. And it's really good to focus in on our mindset. Our mindset really can be the deal breaker with how we're showing up and how we can tackle different stressors that occur for us. So I appreciate each and every one of you for being here today. Thank you so very much. Without further ado, most of the stuff that you probably need to know about me is down in the description box, so check that out. Okay, I don't want to keep you too long here today. We are diving into what 5 things you could worry less about. Okay, what 5 things you can worry less about. Check this out. It shares that most worries never actually happen. Think about that for a second. For many of us, most worries that we have never actually happen. And it's not to knock things that actually do occur, but there is a greater percentage of things that we have a tendency to worry about that don't actually occur. So, my terminology in the psychobabble world, we talk about cognitive distortions, distorted thoughts, thinking errors. I also like to call it stinking thinking. And one of the ones that a lot of us experience is catastrophizing. We're worried about a thing before it even happens, and usually that thing never happens. So, what does this do to our brain? Well, our brains are doing amazing work all the time. Our brains are pretty good at trying to do the best it can to be efficient. And by that, I mean it's doing what it needs to do to conserve energy, and constantly scanning our environment, the awareness of things that we have, and also leaning into past experiences. So let's look at the threat detection. Excessive worry activates the amygdala. This is your brain's alarm system. The parts of the brain, specifically the amygdala, is even scanning even when there's no real danger that exists. Okay, so the thought is, or the idea, I should say, is that when I'm having a thought, my brain is trying to do the best it can to be efficient with, is this thought something that is actually really happening? Or do we see this? Like the example is, you see a threat, ahead of you, and your brain's trying to figure out, okay, what do we need to do? The amygdala doesn't know whether it's a reality that's actually going on or not. So it's activated even with a thought, a worried thought. The next part of it is our stress hormones. Chronic worry elevates cortisol levels. It contributes to anxiety disorders and physical health issues over time. So you want to decrease having those cortisol spikes. But here's some great news. Mindfulness practices help to reduce rumination and actively improve your brain's emotional regulation capacity. Okay, next I want to show you that other people's judgments. You're wired for belonging. And this is where, one of the things to worry less about, I should say, is other people's judgments. And I want to focus in right here just on me really quick because I think this is really important. It's very important when we're specifically looking at this one, that I know we all do it. We're all either thinking about what someone is thinking or doing or possibly saying about us. So one of the areas that can be very helpful is worrying less about others' judgments. So I'm going to go over here. Let me see if I can move this really quick. Okay. You're wired for belonging, but not for this. Okay. We're not wired to constantly focus in and think about other people's judgments. Okay. We're evolved to care about social acceptance, and that instinct serves us well. But in our modern life, constant social comparison quietly fuels anxiety and erodes self-worth. Most people are far too focused on others, judge others. And when this happens, you have to give yourself some grace. So this is where I tell folks, focus on those who, help you to feel good and you feel good about being around them. Okay? Focus on those you feel good about being around. Worry less about past decisions. Mistakes are information, not identity. This is so great. Every choice that we've made, even ones that we regret, contribute to the wisdom that we carry today. So ruminating over the past decisions keeps our mind anchored to a moment that we can no longer change. So what you can change is what you do next. What you can change is what you do next. Worry less about the things you cannot control. We talked about this earlier as well. Okay? Worry less about the things that you cannot control. Coffee. Our brains do crave certainty. This we know very well. Our brains do crave certainty. It's wired to seek predictability and safety. Remember that our brain, as I said earlier, it's wired to predict, to seek predictability and safety. But the world is always going to contain variables beyond our reach, and fighting that reality only deepens the stress. Peace will often come not from solving the uncontrollable, but from accepting it. And just a little plug here, this is the part where I really like utilizing the approach of ACT when I'm working with folks. And ACT stands for Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. It's a branch or a part of the work of CBT. It's a great approach to use when I feel that people are struggling with the control aspect. What helps is when we redirect that energy toward what you actually can influence. Okay? So look at this. Within your control, you have reactions, effort, mindset, and choices. Mindset. Okay. That's beautiful. I wanted to make sure I put that in there because that's what our whole series is going to be about for these next few weeks here, is how can I better refine and attune my mindset so it's decreasing stress. Okay. Things that are outside of our control are other people, past events, the future, and circumstances. Okay, next we want to worry less about imagine future scenarios. Okay, this is what I call future tripping. A part of a way of thinking is the future tripping, I call it. And our mind predicts danger to protect us, but prediction is not reality. Okay, the brain is a pattern recognition machine that often mistakes imagination for fact. So most catastrophic what ifs never materialize. When you notice that your mind is spiraling into worst case futures, gently return to what is true for right now. Okay, so for number 4, worry less about imagined future scenarios. Being perfect. Worry less about being perfect. Here's something to think about. Perfectionism costs more than it delivers. Perfectionism costs more than it delivers. Okay, the pursuit of perfection increases stress. It can stifle our creativity and delays action. Progress, not perfection, is what creates real growth. When it's done and imperfect, something that is done and imperfect will always serve you better than never done and flawless. So we have to give ourselves permission to be human. So I want you to experiment this next week until I see you again. And we continue on in our mindset series. Is a little simple exercise. Okay. When a worry arises, pause and ask yourself one question. Okay. Is this within my control? I know it seems simple, but I guarantee you will find this very helpful. I do it. I encourage the folks I work with to do it. Is this within my control? Get this. If the answer is no, release it. If the answer is yes, take a small action. So you're like, Dr. D, what action do I take? Here we go. We've got it right here for you, okay? You can take one action, do one small step. Now, the scenario can be different for everyone. So I don't know the specifics. When I'm in the moment working with someone, I can we can whittle out the details and then find what those steps are. But take one action, do one small step. And then when you find that one small step, see, are there other steps to it or not? You don't have to push beyond just what the one thing is that you're able to identify. It's okay. Let it be simply that one step. Release it and consciously let it go. Okay. Now, when we find that no, it's not within our control, we release it and consciously let it go. It's all about how you speak to yourself. Now, for me, especially when I'm by myself, I do this a lot because energy, frequency, vibration. Nikola Tesla said, the sum and multitude of all things within our universe operates off of it being energy, frequency, vibration. So I believe your body responds to the sound of your voice. So if you can speak these things out loud to yourself, say, hey, is this within my control? No, it is not. I have to release it and let it go. It no longer has the capacity or power to take up space in my head anymore. You know? Now, if you can say that out loud, I encourage you to do it. If you can't, I encourage you to even, of course, think the thought to yourself and breathe into it. The power of your breath is an amazing thing, and never underestimate it. Have the thought, is this within my control? No. And then take a breath. Because remember, our breath is the thing that can greatly impact and reset our nervous system. So if you can't actually be a participant in the releasing and letting go, the breath can help you do that silently and without notice for anyone to notice. Okay. So I encourage you to do that sometime this week. I encourage you to do that sometime this week. Okay, I didn't want it to be very long today, and I just want to give you like just these little nuggets. And I think this is going to be very helpful for you. All right, tune in next week where we will continue on with episode 5. Like I said, check out our second channel, and I will be sharing some insights regarding music therapy over there. I don't know what day yet, but I will probably most likely do that on the second channel in the early part of next week. Okay? I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Please always remember these 3 things. You matter, you are worthy, and you are also loved. And if you struggle with any one of those, please do not hesitate to reach out. Consultations are of no cost to you. But let's get a conversation started on how you can head onto the path of living well and doing well in just about every area of your life. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much to all the subscribers. Tune in again next week. Until then, be good to yourself and kind to others. All right. Bye-bye.